wanted the fame, but not the cover of Newsweek. Oh well, guess beggars can't be choosy. Wanted to receive attention from my music. Wanted to be left alone in public, excuse me. Wanting my cake and eat it too. Wanting it both ways. Fame made me a balloon. Cause my ego inflated when I flew see, but it was confusing.
Hello, everybody.
It's
Dax, my brother from another mother. How you doing, Dax? Let me switch this over. As you can see from the screen here, I have a balance transfer offer that I've received. I've been receiving these on a regular basis for the last couple months, and I'm going to explain today when you should use a balance transfer check, how you should use a balance transfer check, and how to get credit card companies to offer you balance transfer checks. So that's what it looks like. You can see right there, 0% interest until January 1st, 2019. So roughly 12 months. I think this one I probably got in January, so it's 12 months no interest. All right, so let me switch this around. So how are you doing today? I hope it's awesome. Oh, you gotta check out my coffee cup. This is something my daughter got me for, I think it was for Christmas. That's my daughter, Chastity. And this was a picture of her and I in my airplane flying around. And then there's another picture when she had blonde hair. That was back a long time. You can kind of see my beard. I don't know if you can see it there, but that's when I was kind of in full retirement mode. It was pretty big beard. Now that I'm working again, I'm a working man, I gotta trim it up a little bit. But if you're just tuning in, I'm going over balance transfer checks. When should you use a balance transfer check? How balance transfers work, how you can get credit card companies to give you a balance transfer check. And like many things, I like to kind of have some real life scenarios in it so you can kind of think about it, like, should I do balance transfer, should I not? I have an opportunity right now to buy a software, and I'm going to buy it. As soon as I get done with this live, I'm going to call the guy that has it, and I'm going to buy this software, and it's $25,000. That's a big fat 25. 25 grand for the software. Now, I have the cash to buy the software, but I like using other people's money. And the way this works with banks is it's not really the bank's money. It's your money. It's my money. It's other people's money that put their money in the savings account or checking account. And what people don't realize is at 5:01, when the bank closes, it really opens up. See, for every dollar that you deposit into a savings account, a checking account, or any type of bank account, they now have the legal right to loan up to 10 times the amount. So I have a bank account. It's got $100,000 in it. That bank is now able to loan $1 million out to all the other people who want loans. If you got $100 in the bank account, your savings account, they now have the ability to loan out $1,000. And they charge the interest on that loan, and it's not even their money. Isn't that a racket? Right? I'll get to questions here in a minute. Thanks for putting it in there. Please put all your questions in. In fact, what I'm going to do today, after I get done with this one, I'm going to restart a new one, and I'm going to do Q&A as long as you guys want to go. All right? So back to the balance transfer. Let me show you guys what it looks like. You get these in the mail, 0% interest until January 1st, 2019. If I don't pay off the balance transfer, I will pay 20.24% interest. The fine print that a lot of people miss, and I'm going to take a Sharpie here and I'm just going to circle it right there. It's a 3% or $5 transfer fee of the amount that I transfer, 3%. So if I fill out the check, and here's what the check looks like, by the way. It's just a regular check. If I write my name on it, and I write in $25,000, and I sign it, they're going to charge me 3%, which is $750. Now think about that. Would you be willing to loan me $25,000 if I'm going to give you $750? Would you do it? Why in the hell would the bank do it, right? Why is the bank willing to loan me 25 grand for $750? I'll show you why. You ready? The reason they are willing to loan me $25,000 for $750 is because of that baby right there. 20% interest. So they're willing to loan me 25 grand for $750 so they can make 20% interest in the future. Now, 67% of Americans that have credit cards don't pay them off in full every month. 67%. Which means, just based on that number, and it's not accurate, but there's probably a 67% chance that if they loan me 25 grand, I wouldn't pay it off in the first year. Therefore, I'm charged 20% interest. Now, I never pay interest. I pay very, very little interest. I was pissed off because I did a balance transfer check and I found out my controller didn't pay it off in full because Michelle used the card to buy something. I paid $1.78 last month in interest on $30,000. And I was mad. I was like, you guys cost me $1.78. But in actuality, I wasn't really that mad. I was just mad that I missed it, right? So I'm going to borrow the 25 grand. So would you loan me 25 grand for $750? No. But if you were able to charge me 20% interest, $5,000 a year in interest, would you do it then? Yeah. Right? Because most people are not going to pay it off. So here's how I'm using the balance transfer check. I have some software to buy. It's $25,000. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy it I'm going to pay for it, not with cash, because I'm going to use my cash for something else. As a business owner, the very, very important thing in your business, I almost said number one, it's not number one. Number one is sales. But one of the most important things as a business owner is cash flow. How do you get cash flow? More sales. That's why sales is the most important thing for business. More important than customer service, more important than anything else, because with sales, it brings in the customer so you can provide the customer service. And so you have the cash flow. But cash flow is really important for businesses, regardless of how big you are, regardless of how small you are, cash flow. So I'm very careful with my cash. Now I could use the cash to pay off, to buy the software, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use American Express. Now, why wouldn't I use the balance transfer check? Well, if I do balance transfer check, I don't get any points. I don't get any rewards. I don't get any benefits of it. But if I use my American Express, I get 1.5 points. So on $25,000, I'm going to get 37,500 points. Right? Is that right? No. Yeah, 37,500, which is a one round trip airfare ticket pretty much anywhere in the United States for free, just by using the American Express. Also, if I have a problem with the software, American Express guarantees they'll fix the problem for me. If I use that balance transfer check and the software is no good, I can't get my money back. If I pay cash, it's no good. I might have to go to court. But with American Express or a Visa card or whatever, I make the purchase. If the person that I bought it from lied and said that it worked and it doesn't, I can always just ask for a refund. If you won't do it, you do a chargeback, right? And then you fight it. You don't have to go to court, but you prove that it didn't work. I get my money back. That's the advantage. Plus, I get a free round-trip airfare ticket pretty much anywhere in the United States that I can give to you if I wanted, right? Maybe I want to do a drawing where I fly you out to Vegas, put you in a hotel. How would I pay for it? Through points. Now, here's what I'm doing. I'm buying the $25,000 software with my American Express card. I'm going to get 37,500 points. Then I'm going to write this balance transfer check, 0% interest for 1 year. I'm going to write $25,000 to Rondi Lambeth, and I'm going to go deposit this in my bank account because American Express won't accept this. It also says on the back here, I can't use this for another Citibank card. So I will write myself a check. Now, the bank's going to hold that money for about 10 days. In most cases. In my case, they never hold my checks because there's lots of money in the bank account. I've never bounced a check. There's no issue, so they release it the next day. But no, they will generally hold these 10 business days because there's a lot of fraud going on with this. All right. So now I'm going to write a check to myself. I'm going to deposit it into my bank account. And then when my American Express bill shows up next month, I'm simply going to click on it and pay that 25 grand off because I pay it off in full every month. But I got the extra 25 grand here. So it's not coming from me. It's coming from these guys. Making sense so far? So not only did I get $375 basically in points, it cost me $750 to do the balance transfer. But remember, I got the $375 back. So now the bank is going to loan me $25,000 for $375. Think about that. Because it's costing me 3%, but I get half of that back through rewards. So I'm only paying $375 for 25 grand. Now let me ask you, Matt is on here. I was on his podcast recently. Matt's a money guy. Matt, would you loan me 25 grand for $375 and I'll pay it back next year? That's all you can charge me, Matt. $375. Would you do it? Would anybody here? Give me a big thumbs up if you'd give me 25 grand for $375. If so, let's like talk seriously, because I'll take all the money you'll give me for $375. So I'm going to use my American Express to buy the software. And then I'm going to use this to pay off the American Express. So I'm borrowing for 1 year, 0% interest, $375. Why does the bank do it? I'll show you again. Here's why the bank does it. The bank does it because of this right here. 20% interest. That's $5,000 a year in interest. That's why they're doing it. Because they know most people won't pay it back. Now, what do I do? When I do balance transfers, what I do is it's 12 months. So it's 25 grand. I will set up in Wells Fargo in my bank, in my bill pay, to send a check for $2,100 a month for 12 months. Now, I could just send $50 a month, the minimum payment, whatever it is, and then a big check at the end. But I don't trust myself that much. I don't trust that I'll be alive in a year. I don't trust that I won't be sick. I won't trust that I might, be on vacation. So what I do is I set everything up on autopilot. And as a pilot, one of the first things I do is when I get in, I do my pre-check, I make sure my autopilot's working. Because if my autopilot's not working, I'm not going to go fly somewhere. Because it's physically draining to constantly be adjusting. Now it's fun, but when you're at 25,000 feet or 40,000 feet and the winds and all that, it's just easier to set some dials and hit program and let the plane fly itself. It does a lot better job than I do, right? So I like to do the same thing with my bills. I like systems. I like setting things on autopilot. So when I borrow this 25 grand, I'm going to go into Wells Fargo, I'm going to bill pay, I'm going to send 12 checks of $2,100. Now it'll be a little less than that, but whatever. Then I know in 12 months that this loan, the $25,000 loan, will be paid off in full and I won't pay a dime in interest. So now I just borrowed for 12 months, $25,000 for $375. Now where am I going to get the $2,100? Because I only buy things that I make money from. Well, this software, the average person that is using it is earning $3,000 of additional income. That's a conservative amount. And the person that I'm getting it from, he's been using it for 5 years. He makes well into the 7 figures. That's over $1 million a year using this software, right? It's an amazing thing, and I'm going to talk about it a lot more in upcoming videos on how you can actually use the software from me and all that stuff. But so the average person is making $3,000 a month. Well, I'm only paying the bank $2,100. So now I'm making $900 a month off of their $25,000 that cost me $375. So at the end of the year, I've made $36,000 minus the $25,000. So I made $11,000 minus the $375. So I want to make $10,625 by buying the software. And then once it's paid off, I'll make another $3,000 or more every single month. It's mailbox money. I love mailbox money. Now, how can you use a balance transfer check and how should you use it? Well, balance transfer checks are awesome. And if you are disciplined enough to pay off the credit card, to pay it off by that time. So that's about the only time you would want to use it is if you're going to be disciplined, that if you're going to take it from one credit card at 0%, you're going to put it on another credit card at maybe 20%. And then you're going to hammer away on that. Because if you don't pay it off in 12 months, you're no better off. What I see most people do is they'll do a balance transfer check and now this one's paid off and then they go use it and they max that one out. And now they got 2 credit cards maxed out at 20% interest. And that's what the banks want. It's not a good idea to do that. Now, how can you get, because I promised to tell you, how can you get the banks to send you balance transfer checks? What happens with this is the banks are very jealous. And the credit card companies are very jealous of other credit card companies. And they want you as an asset. Because when you owe a bank money, you are their asset because you're paying them interest. So what they'll do is if you pay off one credit card and use the balance transfer check over here, this company will actually send you a balance transfer check. Let me show you this. Probably be easier if I just show you with some credit cards. So the balance transfer check that I'm using is this one right here. Let me get that card. Bear with me 1 second. I should have thought about this earlier, but I didn't. But that's what happens when it's live and not scripted. I'm going to take this account, right? This is the balance transfer. This has 0 balance on it. And I'm going to buy the software with this credit card. I'm going to take the $25,000 from this one and pay that one off in a month. Now, when I do that and I max this one out, or I put $25,000 on, this guy is going to see that. He's going to see it went from 0 to $25,000. He now wants in on it. So this guy will send me a balance transfer check. Let me show you. They've been doing this. I mean, this is just a game. I love playing it. Look at that one. Let me put it in the front so you can see it. The one you're looking at right there is that card. Okay? This one right here is this card. This one is that card. So this one I can get 0% until June 2019 at 18.99. And it's on that card because that one's paid off. And then this guy is now offering it. And see, these cards go back and forth. When you start using the transfer checks, they know it. And so the other ones will offer it. So what you can do is if you're trying to get out of debt, one of the good ways to do it is do a balance transfer check, use it, pay that card off. The card you paid off will then offer you a balance transfer check. And as long as you're not doing it like monthly, because you don't want to keep paying that $750, right? But if you just use that card a little bit, every month, literally every month, these guys send me these balance transfer checks. Every month. So if you do it right, and you can't pay it all the way down. Let's say that you're just in debt and you want to get out of debt. You're not buying software. You're not doing that. You're not building your business. And you can't pay the $2,000 a month. But you want to get rid of the interest. And then you want to take all that extra money and put on that and pay it down. And when you're all said and done, you still owe $10,000. Well, That's when this guy comes in and he offers you another year at 0%. Pay it. Pay the 3%. So now you owe 10 grand. So now you can pay $300. You're going to borrow it for another year and you start hammering away. Then once you get this guy almost paid off, this guy will show up and send you a balance transfer check. And they just go back and forth. I get them, same thing with this guy, right? And I get them with this one all the time. They'll start, they're begging you to go back to them, all right? So that's how you get them to send it to you. Now, what you don't do with balance transfer checks is you don't pay off one credit card and now you're saving money because you lowered your payments and now you're spending that money on other things. Don't do that. Take whatever you're saving and apply it to your bills. So if your overall credit card bills are $500 a month, you do a balance transfer check, which wipes out 20% interest. Now it's down to $300 a month. That's 200 extra bucks. You take that extra 200 bucks and you apply it on the bill. So you keep paying $500 a month until it's completely paid off. And that's how you want to use a balance transfer check. You don't want to do it to save money so you have more spending money at the bar. Because in the end of 12 months, you're going to be worse off. And that's what the banks are counting on, which is why they're willing to loan you $25,000 for $750, is they're counting on the fact that the average person will not pay off their credit card. They're just counting on it, and they know you won't. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you got any value out of it and you learned something, please share my video with somebody that you think might be able to use this. As always, if you need help with credit, go to my website, rondylambert.com, or the business page, Fortress Credit Pro. Just go to Google and type in Rondy, you'll find me. You can also direct message me here and I'll reach out to you and get you squared away with your credit, your finances, and your taxes. Have a good day.